Hey, what is up there, everybody? It is Odin here. Sunday evening, as it were. Sunday means the end of one week, the beginning of another. Work tomorrow morning, which sucks, but that means I'll make a little video here tonight before I have to go to bed and get up and do the work thing tomorrow. But that's not the worst thing ever. Also, next week I have almost the entire week off from work, 9 to 5 work, where I'm going to be very busy with lots of other work. Someone will be packing, preparing for this big move I have coming up, but also I have my studio time booked. My studio time booked to record vocals for the Kill Them Dead album. We have 3 songs ready to go. The music is done. All I have to do is lay vocals on top of them, and they are fucking powerful. Great songs. Excited to lend my vocals to this project. And yeah, so that's Wednesday and Thursday I'll be in the studio. And then Friday I have kind of a breather before Saturday. I get to play Reverend Odin. And marry 2 of my friends. My friend Ryan I've known for quite a while. Used to work with him and we became friends. And then his fiancée Audra. Awesome people. They asked if I would officiate their wedding, and I was like, of course. Why would I say no to that? Like, that's like the most flattering thing. Plus, they're like, well, we know you aren't bothered by talking to crowds. I'm like, that's true. I mean, I used to be, but, I figured it out. But I'm totally legitimized. I could show you here. I got my stuff in the mail. It says I am a reverend or an ordained minister anyway. I mean, if nothing, this will tell you everything. It's a badge, a clip-on badge. It says clergy. Like, I can wear this. I can go anywhere I want. Do anything I want. Fuck you, I'm clergy. I got that. I did get a card. And it's like a credit card. I think it's a gift card. No, it's not a gift card. I'm just joking. But it's I can't say that. Universal Life Church Ministries. It's got my name on there. If I could get it to work. Oh well. Take my word for it. It says my name on it, so if they don't believe the clergy badge, I'll pop out this bad boy. Like Johnny Depp in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Fuck off. I got that. But if that doesn't work, I mean, I got this. Credentials of Ministry. This is to certify Odin Dasco, myself, that the bearer hereof has been ordained. Hereof. That's me. Hereof. And I mean, it's got a gold foil insignia stamped on here and some guy's digital signature. Chaplain B.R. Martin. I mean, he believes it. He said so. That makes it legit. So, that's me. Reverend Odin. Doing weddings for my friends. No, I'm excited for that. But there's a lot that goes with that. He's got his bachelor party. So I hang out for that, and then there's a rehearsal, and then there's the actual wedding, there's a reception, so that makes this weekend very busy, and the week leading up to that, well, one of those days is the bachelor party, one of those days is the rehearsal, but also doing all the recording, packing every chance I can get. It's busy, I tell you. Even though I'll be off of work, I'll be working on other stuff. So my camera froze up on me. I can't really show anything but what I have on here now, which is an old drawing. I just thought I'd share an old drawing because I haven't got as much drawing done. I did finish the page that I was working on last video, which is this guy. So, that one I did finish at least, but thought an old drawing, but it froze up on me. I can't move it, but it does have a very nice Mighty Thor logo at the top. And there's Hela slinging blades of fury, whatever the hell sharp object she throws at Thor here. And Thor down here giving Loki the business. As he looks up, Hela, what are you doing here? My hand's full with Loki here. But I did an art show a while back and ended up doing a lot of like licensed characters and stuff. And like Marvel and DC. I'm like, this is what people know. This is the style I do, so let's do what people know. Try to sell some stuff. I sold a lot of prints, which is what this is. It's a print. The original somewhere. But I didn't sell any original art, but I sold a lot of prints. And yeah, it was fun. A lot of the original art from that auction ended up going in a giveaway when we launched Unconditional Shove. Amanda B was backer number 1. She won a Lobo drawing that I did, which I was very proud of, that Lobo logo. That ended up being donated to Sean Arendt's auction for his family. Needed some help with medical bills and things like that, so we all rallied together. It got donated for that. So I don't know whose hands that ended up in. I can't remember. But somebody has that original piece somewhere. The Lobo one. It's not Amanda B anymore. And then a Galactus and Silver Surfer piece that I drew that I was very proud of. That went to... I was very happy to give this to Mo Biggs. Mo Biggs got his Galactus Silver Surfer original art shipped to him. And then a Daredevil versus Bullseye was shipped to Courtney. My friend Courtney. And every time she streams, it's on our wall right behind her, which is pretty cool. But this one, I can show it up like this. So you can see the whole thing. Was just one in that lot, but I didn't give it away on the giveaway, so I still have the original somewhere. But just random stuff to draw for fun and try to make a buck. But I don't know if I sold any prints of that. I can't remember. Anyway, news and updates. Let's move on. Unconditional Shove. We're closing down the campaign at the end of the month. You have until the end of June. Actually, probably till the 2nd. Because of the wedding and everything. I may be too busy to... Because I want to do a closeout stream for the fun of it, really, more than anything else, on the Broken Compass Comics channel. Because I'm guessing, the people who will show up to watch the stream either have already backed or already made their mind up whether they were getting Unconditional Shove. But we'll have fun. We'll hang out and have fun nonetheless. And watch those numbers probably not go up. We're only 300 away from $5,000. A nice round. I love round numbers. I don't know if we'll get $300 more. And then we were 18 backers away from an even 100. So, but nonetheless, people threw down. People wanted it. We're excited to get it printed. It's right there. James took a little time off, but all the lettering was done. We just had to do final stuff and prepare the pre-press and get it to the printer. So very soon now we'll be getting those printed and shipped out to all you awesome people who I couldn't thank enough. It was exciting for me to see so many people believe in it and get excited about it and want to throw down. There was original art backers. That was the coolest, because that ain't cheap. The other thing is, if you did back the original art, I'll be sending out the digital version here soon to you guys first, so you can pick which page you want it. So, let's see what else. Kill Them Dead, like I talked about, going into the studio. Very excited for that. So last night, had a bit of fun. Went out to karaoke after streaming with my friend Justin Belmont. It's 420. He got 420 subscribers, so had a little celebration. Streamed with him. That was a fun show. And then went out and did karaoke. Met my friend Josh there, who is a phenomenal singer, and he will be laying down some vocal tracks as well. The guy's freaking awesome. Met him there, but I was mostly there to see Wade, who runs the karaoke. For he is the guy who has the studio that we will be recording in. So very excited to do that. Hang out with Wade and Josh. Lay down some vocals for this exciting new project that we are working on called Kill Them Dead. Really trying to create a lot of buzz around it. I know some people, anybody who knows anything about it has expressed their excitement. But it will be 80 plus minutes of music. Also 80 plus pages of book in an LP sized format. So now we're going to do several versions. There'll be like an economy version, but that's the one you want, with the 2 LPs pressed vinyl. They're going to have cool artwork on the records, several covers, because there's going to be basically like 4 covers, and we're going to do lots of cool stuff, and everything is blacklight UV reactive ink, as close as we can get it anyway. And that's Kill Them Dead, and we're very excited for it. And I'm going to the studio to lay some vocals, and the music is power metal. There's one song that I just got today from Jacob Lizzut. The composer of the music is phenomenal. He's really good. He sent us what we call our end credits song, and it's more anthemic, a little more 80s power anthem. But that's going to be like the theme song, basically. So I'm really excited. That one I just got today, so I'm hoping to get lyrics and melody up to speed, so when I go in the studio I can actually lay those down. The other 2 tracks are the first 2 tracks on the album. They're done. I know what I'm singing. I can go in and lay those down. So exciting times for Kill Them Dead. So that's what we got going on. Unconditional Shove closeout stream, end of the month, on the Broken Compass Comics channel, and then we'll shut that campaign down as it goes to print and get all the books out to everybody. Kill Them Dead is in signups on Indiegogo, on Kickstarter. Pick your poison, as I say. I don't think you're supposed to do that, but fuck it, we're doing it. That's what we're doing. That's how we do it. Just want to run our horizons, But sign up for that. There is a reason. You'll get an art print, but also, as a creator, it's very helpful for us to gauge interest and where we're at with sign up. So when we put those out there, I know there's lots of people who are like, I don't sign up for stuff. I just back what I back. I get it. And, some people don't like getting their emails cluttered up with. I get that too, but at the end of the day, it really does help us. We're not going to spam the shit out of you. We'll throw emails out to people when there's a proper update, when there's a proper email to send out. So anybody who backed Shove or backed Bastards probably got an email about Kill Them Dead. But it's not like you're going to get one every fucking day. We're not that kind of people. And if you don't like it, you can unsubscribe, If you want to be a douchebag the rest of your life. I don't know if I got any Frisky Dingo fans out there. It's one line that always cracked me up. He hands this guy a bunch of money and he goes, "It's all there, 400,000 or whatever it was." He's like, "You can count it, if you want to be a douchebag your entire life." It's one of my favorite lines. If you want to be a douchebag your entire life. Frisky Dingo, great show. Man, what a great show that was. So anyway, emails, yes. We're not going to go crazy, but it does helps us spread the word. It also helps build excitement. You can unsubscribe, all that stuff. So anyway, that's emails. But if you haven't signed up, please do. It does help us gauge interest, and if you're even slightly thinking that you might back this campaign, sign up. It definitely helps us. It helps us going into the campaign. So, and this one is for us, it's very ambitious. I've already put out a lot out of pocket as well. James has as well, and because we believe in it. But there's just so much that we want to have ammunition of excitement, before we go into launch. This is definitely one that we need a crowd-funded thing. To be quite honest, I could have paid for Unconditional Shove entirely out of pocket. I don't want to, and that's half the reason for doing crowdfunding is, to have the financials work out, and so what you're getting into. Kill Them Dead, we've put in a bit out of pocket, and we've been putting in a lot of time and effort to try to get it to at least a point where the excitement's there. We have, like I said, excitement ammunition, and that's why I'm going in to record vocals on these songs, so we have music that we can show you. This is what the album's going to sound like. You're going to want this. So everybody I know who's a fan of Odin as a singer, not necessarily as a comic book creator, there you go. But if you're a fan of Odin as a comic book creator and not a singer, there you go as well. Hopefully you're a fan of both, and then you're very happy because this is going to have both. So that's what's going on in the world of Broken Compass Comics. Let's see, what else? I can tell you about a movie I watched. And I bring this up because it was very interesting to me. The movie itself was one of the best, worst movies I've ever seen. And I loved it for that reason. It was called The Visitor from 1979. And I imagine there's people in my audience that have probably seen it. Knowing this cosmopolitan crowd that comes to this channel. Only those few people, but they are quite varied and eclectic. So I imagine there's somebody who's seen it. But The Visitor from 1979. It's kind of a sci-fi, high fantasy horror. This has got elements of The Omen. It's got elements of Star Wars. It's fucking all over the place. But the Italian director, can't remember his name, and definitely has some visual elements, and the soundtrack was nutty. It was so good, so bad, so good. The soundtrack was crazy, and a lot of the cinematography, some really cool stuff, but some really crazy stuff too. So it had a certain Italian kind of feel, like some of the Italian horror directors and things. And spaghetti westerns, they have a certain bent. But what I found most interesting was there was two very famous directors in the movie as actors. Now, a lot of you will know who they are, and a lot of you won't. Again, given the eclectic nature of who might be watching. So the main protagonist, and both of these directors have acted in movies. It's not a weird thing but it was weird that they were both in the same movie in such a crazy shit show of a movie. So the main protagonist was John Huston, who's a phenomenal director. He's done some of the most, I would say, some of the best movies ever, particularly Maltese Falcon. But he did like The African Queen. What else did he do? The Misfits. Just a great director, and he's well known. And he's played as an actor in many movies. And then the other one was Sam Peckinpah. There's an actor in this. What were some Peckinpahs? What was it? The Wild Ones? Is that what it was called? The Wild Bunch? But another very well-respected actor. So these are both, high-tier, or directors, sorry. High-tier directors acting in this movie that is like a complete shit show, like Insanity. And the movie's like it starts in space, and there's some guy who looks like Chad Kroeger from Nickelback, and he's like some guru, cult leader kind of guy, but it's in space, but he's benevolent. He's like a good, nice, and he's got all these bald children there, and he's explaining the mythology or the lore behind Satan, basically, who was banished to Earth. And there he procreated with women of Earth. And he's telling this to like little kids, right? And then John Huston's character comes in and he's like, I've got to go to Earth, because basically there's a group of like a Satanist cult who's like wanting to resurrect Satan, who has spread his seed amongst certain human women, and they have their chance through this girl who's got like special powers. I mean, it's got a lot of like Seventh Son, a lot of like The Omen, some of like Exorcist. I mean, there's lots of different influences that drew from, it seems. But John Huston's like, I have to go to Earth, and he looks like Obi-Wan. But the opening scene before even the Chad Kroeger stuff was really well done. So he goes to Earth to try to help this girl so she doesn't turn evil with all her powers, because the Satanists are trying to make her. And then it had Lance Henriksen, which I've always said, not that every movie he makes is great or even good, but if it's got Lance Henriksen in it, I'm going to check it out. It's worth checking out. And this one was no exception. Yeah, he played like the leader of this Satanist cult, but he's trying to get with the girl's mom who's like paralyzed. It's insanity. Like, it all makes sense, but none of it makes sense at the same time through this whole movie. And then the soundtrack. Holy shit, the soundtrack was all over the place. I loved it. So anyway, The Visitor, 1979. Starring John Huston and Lance Henriksen, Sam Peckinpah. Check it out if you haven't. I think fans of like crazy older movies definitely are gonna like it. What else? So I had talked about this because it is one of my. It's not one of my. It is my favorite show of all time. I talked about doing this, and hopefully this doesn't get me struck, or I'm gonna play it really, really small in the background with no audio. We'll see how it goes. But I wanted to go through, and I'm gonna do this, whether you guys like it or not. I'm gonna do what I want. But I want to build excitement around the show Red Dwarf. It is my favorite show of all time. And so I'm going to... Let's see, I gotta actually get this set up, which I didn't have prepared ahead of time. So bear with me. I always like the term bear with me. It sounds like a dance. Would you bear with me? I would bear with you. Let's bear together. So I'm just going to have it playing up in the corner while I describe episode 1, season 1 of Red Dwarf. Again, I think it's the greatest show ever. I have my reasons. You may disagree. A lot of people like it. Maybe don't think it's the best show ever. I think it's the best show ever. It's a comedy sci-fi television show that was aired on BBC. So it's British. It's British. Phenomenal cast. They played their parts perfectly. And once you get drawn in, you're so connected to the characters. You love them and you want to see more. And you love the dynamic. And it was perfectly acted by the cast. And then the writing was great. Because it's like one part Doctor Who, Star Trek, and one part Seinfeld and Cheers or something. Or Odd Couple. There's definitely Odd Couple elements. So anyway, let pull this up. There we go. Hopefully it's small enough that while I play it, you know. So Red Dwarf. The first season aired in 1989. Written by Rob Grant and Doug Naylor. Created by them and then written by them. After a few seasons, there was a split, and Doug Naylor took over. Rob Grant went his separate way. So 1989, this was airing on BBC. And so me, being in the United States in Colorado, I found it on PBS. Thank God for PBS for showing me some awesome British shows. That's where I found Faulty Towers. That's where I found Are You Being Served? That's where I found Doctor Who. That's where I found Red Dwarf. So this was always playing, let's see, Saturday nights. It would start at 10:30. Now, Saturday Night Live started at 10:40, right after the news. Like, the news always had this extra, 10 minutes for whatever reason. And then Saturday Night Live would start right after that. So there'd be this, gap of, 10 minutes where it's it's 10:30, the news is still freaking on, we're wanting to watch Saturday Night Live. Me and my brother were huge into Saturday Night Live at the time. It was, in my opinion, the best cast. It was, Phil Hartman, Mike Myers, Dana Carvey, Kevin Nealon, John Lovitz, and then they had the new guys coming up, which was David Spade, Chris Farley, Adam Sandler. So we loved Saturday Night Live. We watched it religiously. But there was that 10-minute space on Saturday nights where, the news was still going, and we flipped the channel to PBS, Public Broadcasting, which was Channel 6 in Denver. And we found Red Dwarf. And it was just this is something to kill time till we watch Saturday Night Live. The show got so good and so endearing to us, as much as we were huge fans of SNL. We would miss, after time, eventually we would watch 10 minutes and go to Saturday Night Live. But over time, we would watch the entire half-hour episode of Red Dwarf and then go to Saturday Night Live. We would miss the opener, which was a big part of SNL. And we'd miss the whole, it's Saturday Night Live, starring, all that stuff. We would miss that to watch Red Dwarf. And then once Red Dwarf was over, then we would migrate back over to Saturday Night Live. So this is playing as Season 1, Episode 1. This is the intro to the show. It's set up as an odd couple. You've got Rimmer, that is Lister, and you've got Rimmer. So Lister is slobbish, he smokes, he drinks, he doesn't give a fuck, or he doesn't give a smeg as the show lore goes. That was a word coined from this show, which is smeg. And they would use it like a foul-mouthed person like myself might use the F word. So it'd say like smeg off or smeg for brains or what the smeg is going on here. And then affectionately, fans of the show became referred to as smegheads because smeghead was used quite often. So smeghead was the most common insult on the show. So Lister is he's slobbish, he doesn't give a fuck, and Rimmer is a pompous prick who he's a kiss ass. He's trying to like jockey for position to move up the corporate ladder or whatever. The problem is he sucks at everything he does. And the best way I can describe it is he has an inferiority and an what's the opposite of inferior? Superiority. Sorry, it took me so long. An inferiority and a superiority complex at the same time. And is phenomenally well acted by Chris Berry, who played the character. But anyway, that's the odd couple element, and they share a bunk on this ship called Red Dwarf. And Red Dwarf is this gigantic ship that is a space mining ship. It goes into asteroids and planets and mines for precious metals, etc., or whatever. So they're on this mining ship with thousands and thousands of other crews, but they share a bunk. To Lister, it's just a job. To Rimmer, it's a career stepping stone. And they are 100% the odd couple. Rimmer hangs his underwear on coat hangers. That was a joke that was used in the show. So that's the type of personality. But anyway, as they are out in space, it is in the future where space travel and space mining are a thing on these ships, and there's crews. What ends up happening is Lister, who's the slob, he smuggles a cat aboard, which is against protocol, of course, for a litany of reasons. He gets found out, and they say, you cannot have a cat aboard this ship. Here's your options. We either kill the cat, and we go about our business, or you get locked into stasis, which is suspended animation, until we get back to Earth and forfeit all your pay. He chooses that option, so he goes into stasis, suspended animation, and this is a scene where Rimmer's studying for a test. He's trying to become an officer, which is an ongoing thing. He'll never be an officer because he's notoriously a failure at everything he tries, but he does try very hard. He thinks if you do everything right, rather than actually acquiring the knowledge, but he's trying to cheat. Anyway, Lister goes into stasis. They also introduce holograms, so you see the H on his head. That was a crew member who was dead, but they revived him and brought him back to use his expertise as a hologram. So they show, they let you know that holograms are a thing. In the book, the first book, which is called Infinity Welcomes Weary Travelers, which is a great book. It really sets the tone for the entire show. I read it way after I'd already watched the show, but really good book. I enjoyed it. Explains more about holograms, etc. So anyway, let's get here. There's Lister going into stasis, suspended animation. They lock him in and say goodbye, and he's gonna be frozen in time as a zero mass event in quantum time. He comes out of stasis. What he doesn't realize is it's 3 million years into the future. The entire crew are dead. All of them killed by a lethal radiation leak because Rimmer, his roommate, did not install a drive plate properly, and everyone was exposed to a radiation, and they all died. Until this radiation could reach safe levels, Holly, the ship's computer, as you see there, the head floating, did not allow Rimmer to come out of stasis until they'd reached safe levels, which was 3 million years in the future. And everybody's dead. Which is the famous line from the show, which is, "Everybody's dead, Dave." Because he keeps asking, and Holly, the ship's computer, says, "Everybody's dead, Dave." So Holly is a play on Hal from 2001 Space Odyssey. He's the AI ship's computer. But after 3 billion years, he's gone senile. He's not very good. He's all over the place, and he's hilariously played by actor Norman Levitt. Love it. And so as Lister's revived 3 million years in the future, everybody dead on the crew. And they're all turned into what he calls albino mice droppings over time. He finds out that he's not alone on the ship, as his former bunkmate Rimmer is brought back as a hologram. So the only person on the ship with him at the moment is his former bunkmate that he did not get along with at all. The odd couple are reunited, alone on this gigantic ship, floating aimlessly in space for 3 million years, awakened to share a bunk together. And then later you find out that the cat that he had smuggled aboard was safely sealed in the hull of the ship, where, there he is, he had reproduced, or she had babies. They grew up and reproduced and repopulated and also evolved over 3 million years to become Felis sapiens, cat-like humanoid creatures. That and there's only one left, and he acts like James Brown, and he's hilarious. The 3 main characters, perfectly well casted and portrayed on the show. And that's the setting. You get the whole show is basically, yes, everyone's dead. It's 3 million years in the future, which it was already the future anyway. And they're floating aimlessly in space. At the end, Lister, who's the only literal surviving crew member, says, "We're going back to Earth." He says, "Holly, plot a course. We're going back to Earth." And Holly, the senile computer, that is his charge, is to take them back to Earth. As he meets his, the progeny of his cat race, evolved over 3 million years. And tons of fun dialogue. The premise is insane. Like, you get kind of settled in, like, oh, it's a spaceship with this big crew, and then they're all just wiped out, and all of a sudden you're 3 million years in the future. So, and then every episode from that is how to deal with trying to get back to Earth while you're also just 3 beings, one being a hologram, but he acts just like his old self, trying to get back to Earth. So that is how the stage was set in episode 1. That was a lot to unpack. It was a lot of fun. There's a lot of good gags, like kind of like gaggy kind of humor, not like gag like it's so bad, but some of them are just classic gags like that, and I love it. I thought it was so well done. They deal with a lot of like science fiction smeg as it goes, and they deal with a lot of comedy. Like I said, the odd couple is definitely there. And then it's like the odd couple in triplet, because the cat is like his own. He's very much like a cat. He's obsessive about his looks and appearance. yeah, like all the things you could think of a cat. There's a scene where he's like walking around spraying stuff with perfume or cologne, and he's like, "This is mine, this is mine." He's like spraying it, and it was like, there's so many like catisms. He's like finding shiny things. He's like, "That's my shiny thing." I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like I can't do it justice, like explaining it like that. But if you watched all of my little spiel on it, and you haven't watched it yet, do yourself a favor, watch it. They just re-released all the episodes now on Apple TV, which I would never use, and they used to be on Netflix. I don't know if they are anymore. I don't use Netflix. You can also purchase the episodes on Amazon. It's a little spendy. Or you can do like I did, get on your pirate ship, sail the seas, and find your own copy and enjoy them at your leisure, as I do. Great series, a lot of fun. It went 13 total seasons, and it was kind of sporadic, and there was lots of changes here and there, but fun show, and it really developed a cult following. Myself being a hardcore fan, I love that show. It's my favorite show of all time. So if you have not checked it out, check it out. And with that, that's about all I got. Like I said, we'll do the closeout stream for Unconditional Shove. Look for that on the Broken Compass Comics channel. Sign up for Kill Them Dead if you have not. And just a quick thank you to everybody who's shown any interest. Even if you just retweeted things, it means the world to me that, because what we're doing here, we're trying to make stuff that we would like. And we're also wading through having never done it before. But there's strength in numbers, James and I, and then we found Skunk Artworks, and he's a big part of the plans going forward too. What we do is, it's on the fringe, but we know there's crowds that are like us, that appreciate the same things that we do, which is like crazy stuff. It is more oddball, more obscure. We're not superhero cape book type people. I appreciate that for what it is, and I love it, but it's not what I want to create. But I like crazy ass shit. I always have, always will. And with every project, we just want to kind of corner that little area. There's other creators doing crazy ass shit too, but that's our style. That's the kind of market we're trying to reach. If it's not for you, it's not for you. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's what we like to do. So, but anybody who's believed in that and said you guys are nuts and I like this stuff, it means the world to us that you would throw down your hard-earned money to say, I want to be a part of that. I want to back it. So seriously, it's humbling. It's beautiful in my mind that I can find other people who appreciate the same stuff. And we're continually trying to grow that audience and find those people. So if you know somebody who likes crazy ass shit, just for the sake of the fun and humor and oddball nature of it, turn them on to Broken Compass Comics. We're trying to hit that niche. I just talked about the movie The Visitor, and I talked about Red Dwarf. It's that's my stuff. It's obscure, wild, crazy. It's probably not going to be considered the best by most people, but that's my favorite type of stuff. One of my favorite movies is called Freaked by Alex Winter, and I can't remember the other guy's name. And I love that movie. It's nonstop insanity, but lots of simple gags as well. So it's funny, it's crazy, it's got monsters. It's that's the shit I like. That's what I like. That's all I want to make. And learning to make that and make good stuff for everybody, and also going through this process and finding our audience, all this kind of stuff. we're just trying to figure it out. And so everybody who's jumped in on the ground floor, I can't thank you enough. You're getting the ball rolling, the snowball effect that we hope is huge. We would love it for it to be huge. But if it's not, because it is niche, it is fringe, we'll do it anyway because we love it. It's what we love to do. So I'm very thankful that I met James. We are kindred spirits in that sense. We like crazy stuff, and look forward to making more craziness for all you people who love it. So anyway, that's all I got. If you made it this far, as always, thank you so much. I feel like I should buy you a drink if you've listened this long, but it does mean a lot to me that anybody would care what I have to say or what I have to create. So thank you. You're all awesome. And until next time, hope you are doing pure awesome. I hope that you're facing life with power, strength, integrity, kindness, care, love, but above all, integrity. Don't sacrifice that. I joke about it sometimes, but it's something I wouldn't do. I'm going to be true to myself and true to the person that I believe all my experiences that God has put me through have made me. And I'm not going to pretend to be somebody I'm not. I'm just going to be me. But me in the best that I can, which is a creative person. I like creating things. I've been blessed with some gifts that, you develop over time as well, but like to draw, to sing. And I want to use those to create fun stuff while I've got time on this earth. So anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. But I hope that you are all doing your best to be your best as well. None of us are perfect. None of us know what we're doing, but we're all just trying. And while you're trying, I hope you're doing it with all those things. The Bible would call them fruits of the Spirit, but they are like kindness, patience, these virtuous things. Like, develop them, and if you lack in some area, work on it. We all need to work on that, especially when you suck in a certain area. My buddy asked me to officiate his wedding because he's like, you don't shy away from talking in front of crowds. And I'm like, that's true, but that wasn't always the case. I was extremely shy and terrified of talking in front of crowds. What I found was that was almost therapeutic once I figured it out. That terrified of talking was actually made easier by forcing myself into that situation. So anyway, that's just an example, but as you know where you need to improve, actively put yourself in situations to improve. It's my 2 cents. Anyway, that's all I got. I have to leave with some kind of little psychobabble. Some helpful nugget that I hope helps someone. But anyway, until next time, it is Odin here. Take care, be awesome, and see ya.